Okay, so today's lesson, if you look at the title, it's a little bit different than usual. If you're in honors, this is your lesson 12. If you're in regular, this is your lesson 10. Now there's a number discrepancy there because with honors we did a little bit extra, and then in regulars I named it, you have a 9.5 and honors didn't have a 9.5. It was a different number. So it just worked out that there are different numbers, but it's the same lesson. Now, normally I would go ahead and record a different video for honors and a different one for regular, but on this one I didn't want to because this has a lot of basic information in it. Now, my honors class, you guys will probably speed through this maybe a little bit quicker than regulars, and that's okay. Some students in regulars, you'll speed through it too. It all just kind of depends on what you remember from Algebra 1 and what you can do with it. So I thought it would be okay to go ahead and just make one video because it'll serve its purpose for both of you. But going forward, I might have to make some separate ones. We'll just kind of have to see how it goes. But anyways, this comes from section 2.3 in your textbook. Your two objectives, I can find slope, and then I can identify, write, and graph equations in slope-intercept form. So if you remember back in Algebra 1, we talked about both of these things, and they were separated into separate sections. But because this is review content for you, they're all squished together in one section. So this one lesson is going to have a few different parts to the assignment and to the notes. So we're going to start by looking at slope. Okay, so here's what we know about slope. Slope is m equals the rise over the run. When we're looking at a graph to find slope, we think about the rise over the run. So the rise is up or down, and the run, we always think in terms of going to the right. Okay, there are some exceptions there, like when your run won't fit on the graph or your rise won't fit on the graph. You have to go backwards. But generally speaking, when we're looking at a graph, we're going to go up or down and then to the right. Now, the formula, when you're given two coordinate points or two ordered pairs, you use y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. When you're given two ordered pairs, and you can label them x1, y1, x2, and y2. Okay, so if you're given two ordered pairs, you can label them if you want to, and then you just plug the numbers in. Now, before we actually practice finding slope, we need to remember that there are four different types. There's positive slope, that means your line is going up from left to right. There's negative when it's going down. You can have zero, and that's when you have a horizontal line. And that's zero because your rise or run is zero. Your rise is zero, your run is some number. 0 divided by anything is 0. Then, if it's a vertical line, we call that an undefined slope because your rise would be some number and your run would be 0. But we know that we can't divide by 0. We can't have 0 on the bottom of our fraction. So that is undefined. Now, I forgot to say this earlier, but let me say it as I usually do. This is a video. You can pause and rewind as many times as you need to. Okay, I am moving faster in the video because it's a video and I'm teaching to an empty room. If we were in person and I was teaching this lesson like normal, the pacing would be much different. But this is a video. You can pause and rewind as you need to and work through it at your own pace. Okay, now we're going to practice finding slope when given two coordinate points or two ordered pairs. I'm going to do a couple with you, and then I'm going to give you a couple to try on your own. So we're going to use our slope formula up here, and we're given two ordered pairs. If you want to, you can label x1, y1, x2, y2. And now we're just going to plug into the formula. So we have y2 minus y1. So that's 1 minus 5 over x2 minus x1, so that's 5 minus 7. 1 minus 5 is negative 4. 5 minus 7 is negative 2. If you simplify that, negative 4 divided by negative 2 is a positive 2. Okay, so you do have to simplify your fractions all the way. You could type this whole expression in the calculator and see what you get, and that also works. All right, so let's try number 2, x1, y1, x2, y2. So we have m equals negative 4 minus 4 over negative 3 minus 3. So negative 4 minus 4 is negative 8. Negative 3 minus 3 is negative 6. And we have to see if that will simplify. I do know a negative divided by a negative makes a positive. And 8 over 6 simplifies to 4/3. Okay, here are examples 3 and 4. Pause the video, give these problems a try, and see what you can do. Okay, let's check your answers. For number 3, we should have 6 minus 0 over 3 minus 3, and we get 6 over 0. What do we know about that? Good, it's undefined. So we're going to write UND, or you can write out the whole word, and you can use U, whatever you want. But you don't need to leave it as 6 over 0, okay? Because we never keep 0 on the bottom of a fraction. So make sure you write out undefined. All right, number 4, we have negative 3 minus a negative 3 over negative 2 minus 5. So minus the negative changes to plus. So that's 0 over negative 7. How does that simplify? 0. Very good. So we can leave that one as just a 0. Okay, now we are doing some examples of where you're going to look at a graph and find the slope. And this is a little bit different. If we were in person, I would hand you graph paper and you would do these examples on the piece of paper like this, but I know that you probably don't have the paper at home. So you can just watch me, watch what I'm doing, and then you can apply this to your Math Excel work. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is we need to find 2 points on the line, on the graph. So you're looking for the little crosshairs where the grid lines meet. Okay, so here's one and here's one. Okay, if I pick them close together, there's probably going to be less simplifying. So we start on the left and go to the right. So we start here. Am I going to have to go up or down to get to this next point? I'm going to have to go up. How many am I going up? 2. Okay, now which direction do I need to go? To the right. So how many do I go to the right? 1. So M equals the rise over the run. So in this case, M equals, what's my rise? 2. What's my run? 1. How does that simplify? 2. Very good. Okay, let's look at number 6. I see a point here and another one here. So we start on the left. Am I going to have to go up or down? Down. So what does that tell me? If I'm going to have to go down, what kind of slope am I going to have? Negative. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I went down 5, so it's negative 5. Now which direction do I go? To the right. So 1, 2. So M equals the rise over the run. So what's my rise? Negative 5. What's my run? 2. Does that simplify? No. So negative 5/2 is our slope. Okay, let's look at number 7. If you want to pause the video and try it, you can. I know it might be more difficult because you don't really have these graphs to write on, but if you want to pause the video and look at it and see what you can figure out, you can. But number 7, let's see, I'm going to pick a point here, see another one here. Okay, so start on the left. Am I going to go up or down? Up. So up how many? 3. Then I'm going to the right. How many? 3. So m equals 3 over 3. And how does that simplify? 1. Okay, number 8. You can probably look at number 8 and tell me what m equals. But let's say you didn't know. Let's see how we could figure it out. So pick 2 points where the crosshairs meet. I'm going to say these. Okay. What's my rise? Am I going up or down? No. So my rise is 0. What's my run? 5. 0 over 5 equals 0. So your slope is 0. You'll have some problems like this in Math Excel where you're going to have to look at the graph and find the slope. Now, we're going to transition back to our notes from those graphs, and we're going to talk about the slope-intercept form. So make sure you write down the slope-intercept form. It's y equals mx plus b. Usually students really have an easy time remembering y equals mx plus b. M is your slope, b is your y-intercept. Make sure you label that. And we're going to practice picking out the m and b from equations and creating equations. Okay, here are 6 examples. Go ahead and write all 6 problems down. Pause the video. Now, we're going to look at each equation and we're going to pick out what the slope is and what the y-intercept is. So, m is for slope. So, if you look at this first equation, what's your m? 4. And what's your b or your y-intercept? -6. Okay, so that's all you're doing on these 6 problems. Pause the video and give them a try yourself. Okay, let's check your answers. On number 2, m equals -1. B equals 8. Number 3, m equals 1. Okay, if there's an x, you know there's an understood 1 in front of it. And then b is, do you see anything being added or subtracted out here? No. So what's the placeholder? 0. Very good. All right, number 4, m equals, Now up here, it looks like our slope is with x, and that's held true for the problems before. Do we have an x in this problem? No. So if we don't have an x, our slope is 0. And our b is 8. That means your y-intercept is at 8, and you're going to have a horizontal line. All right, number 5, what's m? 1/3. What's b? -1. Number 6, slope is 1, b is 1. Okay, now we're going to switch gears just a little bit. I've given you an m and a b, and I want you to create an equation from that. Okay, so number 7, we know we're using y equals mx plus b. I'll make another note of that. So on number 7, y equals, what do we plug in for m? 2/3. We plug in x, and then what's b? 0. Do I even need to put a +0 there? No. All right. Number 8, give this one a try. All right, we have y equals -2x plus 4. And number 9, which actually, looking ahead at other examples, I accidentally made 2 number 9s. So if you want to call this one, let's call it 8.5. Example 8.5. Here, I'll use the purple, and that'll make it look more official. Okay. So m is 0, b is -3. So that would be y equals 0x minus 3. What do we know about anything times 0? It disappears. So that would be just y equals -3. Okay? Okay, we're going to switch gears a little bit again. We're going to look at some graphs. So in Math Excel, it's going to ask you to look at a graph. You're going to have to find the slope, find the y-intercept, and then make your equation. Okay? Now, I had to draw these graphs by hand. I'm not a great graph drawer. I did my best. And so, as you can see on number 9, like my line's a little bit off, but on Math Excel, they will be much prettier. Okay? So, we're going to use the different things that we have talked about so far to do these problems. Okay? So, I'm just going to talk through them with you. At any time, pause the video, look at them yourself, and see what you can do. All right, so number 9, first we need the slope. So I need to find 2 points on the graph. I like this one and this one. They stood out to me really easily. So I'll start on the left. So am I going to have to go up or down? I'm going to go down, and I go down 1. How many am I going to go to the right? 3. So m equals -1/3. Now B. B is my y-intercept. Label your y-axis. Your y-axis is vertical, x is horizontal. So to find the y-intercept, you're going to look at your y-axis and find where the graph hits. Now, this one is supposed to hit right here at 1. So now we make our equation. Y equals -1/3 x plus 1. And that's your answer. Okay, number 10, let's do the same thing. Here's a point and here's another one. So my slope, I'm going to go up 2 over 2. So I have 2 over 2, and that simplifies to 1. My y-intercept is where it hits the y-axis, so let me go down the y-axis and find where it hits. It's right here at -5. So y equals 1x minus 5. Number 11, pick 2 points. I'll say this. What's my rise? 0. What's my run? 2. So my slope is 0. My y-intercept is 6. So my equation would be 0x plus 6, and we know that will simplify to just y equals 6. Okay, and number 12, pick 2 points. I like this one and this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I went up 4 over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my slope is 4/5. My y-intercept is all the way down here at -8. So y equals 4/5 x minus 8. Okay. So again, you'll have some problems like this in Math Excel where you're going to have to look at the line, look at the graph, pick out the slope, pick out the y-intercept, and then plug it into your slope-intercept form. Okay, we're switching gears once again, and I'm trying to go through these examples slow enough so that you see what's happening, but quick enough that this video doesn't take forever. All right, so now you're given an equation in slope-intercept form, and you have to put it on the graph. Okay, so number 13, let's pick out our y-intercept first. So our y-intercept is our B, and it's -2. So I'm going to go to the y-axis. You can label it. I'm going to go to the y-axis down to -2, and I'm going to make a point. All right. Now I'm going to use my slope, which is 1/2. I'm going to use that slope to make another point. So I'm going to start on -2. I'm going to go up 1 over 2, make a point. I'm going to do it one more time, up 1 over 2. And then I'm going to take a ruler. I'm going to line it up. I'll do the best I can here with my ruler and pen. Make a line. It needs to go all the way across the graph. If we were doing this in person, I would preach and preach. Line extends across the graph, put arrows on the end, make 3 dots. But on Math Excel, it's a little bit different, and I know that. Okay? All right, so number 14, we're going to do the same thing. So our y-intercept is positive 7. So I'm going to find positive 7 on the y-axis. Now, my slope is negative 4. So I'm going to label that B. This is my M. Now, it says negative 4, but I need a rise and a run. What does negative 4 tell me? It tells me that I'm going to go down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And how many do I go to the right? 1. You always go over 1 if you have a whole number, so we can put that over 1. I'm going to make another dot, so go down 4 over 1. Connect it with a line. Okay. So pause the video if you need to. Take another look. Numbers 15 and 16, they're a little bit different. If you notice, these equations are not in slope-intercept form. So we've got to do a little bit of work to them first. Okay? So we're trying to get y by itself. We did this back in the first unit. So I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. And I have 3y equals negative 2x plus 10. I'm going to divide everything by 3. So that gives me y equals negative 2/3 x plus 10/3. Now, I didn't mean for this to come out as a fraction here on the end, but that's okay. So here's my new equation. And so I need to think about 10/3. So you can type that in the calculator and you should get 3.33 repeating. So that's just a little bit past 3. So I'm going to go to my y-axis. I'm just going to go a little bit past 3, and that's fine. Okay, my slope says I'm going to go down negative 2 over 3. So down 1, down 2 over 3. And remember, it's got to be just above the line. I'll do the same thing. So down 1, down 2 over 3, just above the line. And that would have been much easier if I'd planned that problem better and given you a whole number. Hopefully on Math Excel, it'll be a little bit better for you, but you should get the idea. So on these problems, subtract the thing with x and then divide by the number with 3. So we're going to do the same thing over here. So we're going to subtract the thing with x. So we have 2y equals negative 3x plus 4. Divide all by 2. We have y equals negative 3/2 x. And then 4 divided by 2 is 2. So plus 2. This one should be much easier. Our y-intercept is 2. So we're going to go to 2 on the y-axis. And our slope says go down 3 over 2. So down 3 over 2. Do it again. Down 3 over 2. And we'll make a nice straight line. Okay. Now, our last few examples here, we're just going to practice putting these in slope-intercept form and then picking out M and B. Okay, so just a little bit more practice of 15 and 16 without putting it on the graph. All right, so number 17, we want to get y by itself. So we're going to add 3x to both sides. We have negative 4y equals, I'm putting the 3x, and I should have said this earlier, I'm putting the 3x in front because that's our slope-intercept form. We want these to be in y equals mx plus b form. So we're putting the thing with x in front and our constant in the back. Now we're going to divide everything by negative 4. And you get y equals negative 3/4 x minus 2. Because 8 divided by negative 4 is negative 2. All right, number 18. You have a problem like this in Math Excel, but don't let it trip you up. It's actually super easy, okay? Oh, over here, I forgot. This is M. M is negative 3/4. B is negative 2. All right. On number 18, It's already in slope-intercept form. There's nothing for you to do to get it there. But if we want to pick out m, if there's not an x, what do we say m is? 0. B is 10. All right, now number 19, we're going to follow the exact same steps that we did here in number 17. We're going to get rid of this thing with x, so it's positive, so we subtract. We have 5y equals negative 4x plus 20. Divide everything by 5. We get y equals negative 4/5 x plus 4, where your m is negative 4/5 and your b is 4. Okay, that's the last of our examples. I know that took a little while to get through, and I apologize. I tried to go through it as fast as I could. Hopefully this video will help you with your problems in Math Excel. None of this should be brand new information, so it should still be a review for you from Algebra 1. As always, if you need help, email me, hit Ask My Instructor, talk to me in the Google Meet, whatever you need to do. Have a great day.